the Irish guy, and yes, so Premier League Gameweek 31 or 32, I forget. Whatever it is, lads, I'm going to predict every single Premier League match this weekend and the FA Cup semi-finals too. And lads, if I don't get at least one correct scoreline right, then I will chew every page out of a Captain Underpants book. God, I'm so hungry to eat that thing. Right, let's go. Luton 1, Brentford 0. It's only 5 years ago since Luton travelled to Brentford and conceded 7. How are they now both in the Premier League? It is weird seeing both tiny little London clubs now competing against each other in the top flight. Imagine being told that this would be the case 5 years ago. No, it's like trying to imagine a couple of talentless twerps off Coronation Street being up for an Oscar nomination in half a decade's time. It's like if I shoved my hand in the dirt, pulled out 2 sheepish looking worms, and told everyone that they'd soon be dancing on Britain's Got Talent. But to be fair, this is a Premier League clash now, and I think Luton are going to win. They have to win, because right now, it looks like they're being cut adrift in the relegation zone. They have to exterminate the bees, and I think they will. Yes, Brentford beat Sheffield United 2-0 last week, giving me my only correct prediction of the weekend, but that was their first win in over 2 months. Thomas Frank's team have been a hopelessly inconsistent, dreary side all season long, and honestly, I've seen other managers sacked for far less. Clearly, he's just coasting on his looks. No, who are we kidding? He looks like a vampire who feasts on teenagers at night. While Rob Edwards, I mean, clearly the housewife hunk. Well, lads, I'm gonna go for a Luton 1-goal win. 1-0, Carlton Morris with that pressure penalty. And lads, this will be such an important win. Sheffield United 2, Burnley 1. Lads, when I did my updated Premier League predicted table a few months ago, I said against all odds that Burnley would wind up finishing bottom of the league, which would be a complete embarrassment considering they have not actually been rock bottom of the pile since November. But I'm sorry, if this really is coming down to a managerial battle of wits between Chris Wilder and Vincent Kompany in a dogfight, I am tipping the former to grind out more points over a 6-month period, which sounds absolutely ludicrous considering I was tipping in Kompany for the Tottenham job a year ago. Well, I'm sorry, Wilder is that relegation bulldog. He is used to trying to eke out results with porridge-brained footballers. While Kompany, let's be honest, he looks like he's been in shock all season long. I don't think he can quite believe how rubbish his players have been. Crazy about last week, his former Manchester City goalkeeper Ariel Muric conceded a goal after letting a back pass slowly trickle under his foot. It looked like a scene of Father Ted. I mean, the previous week, he kicked the ball into the back of his own net off Dominic Calvert-Lewin. If James Trafford is not back between the sticks for this trip to Bramall Lane, then something is seriously wrong. If Muric retains his place in goal, then I'm gonna have to chuck my tinfoil hat on and start wondering whether or not he and Kompany really are having midnight picnics in the bath. This game is meaningless on paper, but it's also the battle for pride. Both teams trying to salvage a morsel of dignity. Christ, but Sheffield United have had some rotten, awful results this season. But I mean, forget losing 8-0 at home. I actually think losing 5-0 at Burnley was the most embarrassing, disgraceful result of the season. I mean, look at their campaign as a dinner party. Losing 8-0 to Newcastle is, yeah, a bit like accidentally sneezing in your grandmother's face, but at least the Geordies were in the Champions League. But losing 5-0 to relegation rotters Burnley, that really is like causing your mum a stroke after rubbing the turkey on your crotch. It was spineless, pitiful. Watching ex-Blade Sander Berg strutting off that pitch, having masterminded such a huge win over your midfield. No, the only way Sheffield United can exact true revenge is by finishing above the Clarets. And I think they will. Ollie McBurney will staff in the last-minute winner. I mean, that bloke, he only ever seems to score in the last minute. 2-1 Blades win, which means they will be just 1 point behind Burnley with a game in hand. Sheffield United are on their way to finishing 19th. I wonder if they'll throw a parade in the street if they do. Probably not. It'd be a bit like bragging on Facebook because you only failed 9 of your 10 summer exams. Wolves 0, Arsenal 0. Okay, when I predicted the title race a couple of weeks ago, I think I said Arsenal would win this game 1-0. Yeah. A lot has changed since. I mean, look what happened in the Champions League. Speaking of which, I did some predictions for the quarterfinals. I don't know how, but I got every single tie wrong. I said Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Arsenal, and Man City will go through. None of them did. Not a single one. That's the last time the Champions League final was held at Wembley. It was Bayern Munich versus Borussia Dortmund. How oddly weird it'd be if we had the same final at Wembley again? That would be so weird. So incredibly strange. Well, lads, Arsenal are not in a good moment. Everybody praised them for squeaking out that 0-0 draw at Man City in March. And yes, that was a great result, but they've sort of stopped scoring goals. 0 against Aston Villa and 0 against Bayern Munich. The Gunners are cracking. They're no longer this fun-loving, free-scoring team blitzing the opposition away. No, instead their forwards are now second-guessing themselves. Gabriel Martinelli had a huge chance against Bayern, and he showed all the self-belief of a blind cat desperately trying to chew its food off the rug. I think this is going to be a horribly frustrating match. I think the Gunners will huff and puff, completely really dominate the match, but they won't actually be able to break down Wolves. Just a painful 0-0 draw, a result that does not move them back top of the league. Ouch. I mean, despite how great Arsenal have been, especially in the second half of the season, it will mean that they'll have only been top for just 2 game weeks in 2024. Horrible. Everton 1, Nottingham Forest 0. This is huge. This is such a colossal match. Lads, Sean Dyche still lives in Nottingham, but because of the gravity of this match, do you think he'll be happily walking down the high street, munching on croissants and little patisseries? No, he's probably too anxious to even be seen slurping his coffee on his own driveway, because Forest fans are going to be screaming at him to lose. This is such a huge game. If Forest win, then the Toffees are 17th at least, and lads, I have said that Luton will win, right? So that would mean that Everton are once again in the relegation zone, and I'll be having another milk bath. I thought I was safe when Everton got their points back, but the Toffees have since been dreadful. They've won once since the 16th of December. They just lost 6-0 at Chelsea. James Tarkovsky said that was the most embarrassed he'd ever been. Really, James? The most embarrassed? Are we all just forgetting that horribly nauseating reality TV show that you starred in with your wife? Even me watching that garbage. Him on the patio flirting with his wife, wearing a shirt that looks like it belongs to Charlie Sheen. I felt more second-hand embarrassment for that than I would seeing a granny wet herself in Costa Coffee. I think this will be another narrow Everton win. This is massive. Both Dyche and Nuno Santo, they actually seem like they would be a better fit at each other's clubs. Again, Dyche lives in Nottingham. When he was out of work, he was often seen attending their games, probably hoping to heap pressure on Steve Cooper. Remember him, that lovable little scamp who had the face of a squashed chicken pie? I'm looking forward to seeing him back at work one day. But yeah, Dyche has long had the Forest link, while Santo, he was literally on the verge of becoming Everton boss 3 years ago. I'm pretty sure Tottenham had just hired Antonio Conte that summer like they wanted. Santo's head would not have been turned by them, and yeah, it would have been him, not Rafa Benitez, rocking up for that thankless gig at Goodison Park. Dyche is that classic British bulldog, the down-to-earth Forest fit, while Santo, he at least has a CV that would excite the Everton fans a bit more. I mean, crazy well, he began this season coaching Karim Benzema, but yeah, I think this will be a 1-0 win, dominant Calvert-Lewin, and you know what? I need Everton to win anyway, so let's make it even spicier. If Forest leave Goodison Park with a win, then I will chuck a strawberry milkshake in my face. Aston Villa 4, Bournemouth 3. Look, Aston Villa are in a terrific place right now, but so are Bournemouth. Last week I said that Justin Kluivert would score the winner against Manchester United in a famous 2-1 win. And lads, if United had not been bailed out by being awarded an incredibly soft penalty, then this prediction would have been spot on, and I'd have looked smarter than Einstein. But listen, both these teams play on the front foot, score a lot of goals, but I'm going for a topsy-turvy 4-3 Villa win, with Ollie Watkins moving to the top of the Golden Boot tree with a priceless 2 goals. Next, Crystal Palace 1, West Ham 1. The most boring, glum, uninteresting game of the weekend, without a shadow of a doubt. I know Crystal Palace just got an epic win at Liverpool, but no, it's just going to be a really ugly 1-1 draw. John Mateta and Thomas Tuchel with the goals, just drab. Lads, if there's more than 4 goals scored in this match, then I will do an entire video wearing a ketchup onesie. Fulham 0, Liverpool 1. Lads, this is a scary trip for Liverpool fans. It wouldn't have been 2 weeks ago, but now, oh, they will be feeling stiff. I mean, lads, they haven't actually won in the last 3 trips to Craven Cottage. It's been over 5 years since they left Fulham with a win, and even that was just thanks to a late James Milner penalty. So this, like Arsenal's trip to Wolves, will be a really nervy, tense match where Fulham will miss some huge chances, while someone like Cody Gakpo will pop up with the winner in the final 10 minutes. So yeah, actually move the Reds back to the top of the table. Considering it's been all doom and gloom surrounding Anfield right now, then that's kind of crazy. Coventry 0, Man United 3. And on to the FA Cup semi-finals. Lads, I like Coventry. And Mark Robbins has done a brilliant job. That epic 3-2 win at Wolves in the quarter-finals was one of the great FA Cup games. But lads, this is a team sitting 8th in the championship table, with their promotion hopes having been firmly extinguished by a demoralizing, rotten 3-0 loss at a floundering, relegation-threatened Birmingham. They've lost 3 of the last 4 games, so now, I'm sorry, but 3-0 Man United win. Bruno Fernandes with 2 and Rasmus Højlund with 1. This is going to be so easy. I'm sorry, but if Coventry reach the FA Cup final, then I will paint my entire body blue. Man City 0, Chelsea 1. This could be the week where everything unravels for Man City. So quickly, a likely trouble can immediately go up in flames. Go back 20 years and Arsenal. Invincible Arsenal had the league sewn up, but they were in an FA Cup semi-final against Man United and a Champions League quarter-final against Chelsea. 2 teams who Arsenal had proven they were light years better than in the league. Just beat both of those lesser sides, and you would then have had an FA Cup final with Millwall and a Champions League semi-final against Monaco, and then a final against Porto. Peak Thierry Henry up against teams from the French and Portuguese leagues. They were heavy favourites for the treble in that spring, and they blew it. losing twice in a week. I think Man City will still romp to the title, but I reckon just after being dumped out of the Champions League by Real Madrid, where, I'm sorry, that fan who stole the ball from Bernardo Silva for his pressure penalty, that fan should be chucked in a suitcase and thrown out of an aeroplane. But yeah, Mauricio Pochettino is a man who knocked Pep Guardiola's incredible 98-point Man City out of the Champions League with Spurs. I mean, by all rights, the 2019 Champions League final should really have been Man City versus Liverpool. They were the two best teams in the world. What an incredible match that would have been. But yeah, Pochettino has not lost either of his Premier League games with City this season. He's sort of Guardiola's boogeyman. And so I think this will be like the Champions League final of 2021. A smash and grab 1-0 win with someone random like Carney Chukwuemeka scoring the only goal. Just watch. Anyway, that's the video. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like, share, and subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.